Hey, Shalom. We'll get started here in just a few moments. All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Chakmadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh. In his son's name, who the word in the called Jesus Christ, real name in the Hebrew is Yahushua. Also give her praises, honor, and glory unto the Yahweh Chakmadash, the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes this edification possible. I want to say shalom to all you sincere-hearted Akim wa Akwat, that's you brothers, and few sincere sisters make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. Also want to give double honors unto my beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth and who rule well. And I'm the brother Osman Wath here from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming back this morning through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmal Shah, okay, to do another lesson. And as you can see, the title of this lesson, Psalms 105, verses 23 through 38. All right, we're just continuing, in the book of Psalms, 105th chapter. And this section that we're going to read this morning, go through this morning, it's going into, the Lord's judgments upon Egypt. As you see, the title here says, Judgments on Egypt as before. That's right, judgments on Egypt as before. And that as before is concerning the judgment that's going to come here to the spiritual Egypt, pursuant to Isaiah 19, Revelation 11 and 8, 2nd Ezra 15, Jeremiah 16, Jeremiah 23. All right, because we are in spiritual Egypt. But okay, we're gonna go into the Lord's former judgments upon the ancient land of Egypt. You see, and let me go ahead and get this real quick. And I got an article concerning these 10 plagues that the Lord smote ancient Egypt with, and how it was a blow, okay, towards towards some of the main chief deities that the ancient Egyptians reverenced and worshiped. All right, so we're gonna get that once the time calls for it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. As always, Lord willing, Abaratazah, this will be edifying, comforting, and exhorting unto the Lord's elect out there, whoever they may be. All right, so this is the book of Psalms, chapter 105, starting verse 23. It says, Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. Let's read that again. Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. Yeah, because as we was reading yesterday, right, it was going into history of Salaki, somebody trying to call me. As we was reading yesterday, we was going into the history of our forefather Joseph, and how the Lord had it set up to where he was there right underneath Pharaoh, in the chain of command. And there was a great famine, there was a great dearth, that hit the land of Canaan. And so it eventually caused our people, our forefather Jacob, okay, and the rest of the tribes, okay, to come down to Egypt, because there was food there. And that's where we settled and stayed. Let's grab this real quick in Genesis 46. Genesis 46, and I believe verse 6. All right, now this chapter, Genesis, the 46th chapter, is going into when Joseph, okay, sent his brothers, okay, Judah, Benjamin, Reuben, Levi, and the rest of them. When he sent them to go get Jacob, his father, to bring Jacob unto Egypt, because once again there's food there. All right, so Genesis 46 and verse 6, it says, and they took, let's start at verse 5, and Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him. You see? So this is eventually how we found ourselves, okay, in Egypt. And let's grab this real quick. Exodus chapter 1. And Exodus 1, we'll start at verse 1. It says, "Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already, and Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation." All right, now I'm going to save verse 7, okay, for the next verse that we're about to get in Psalms, the 105th chapter. All right, and this is going to, just getting all this to segue, okay, to set the tone for, this section of the Psalm, as it's going into, how we found ourselves in Egypt, how we found ourselves slaves there, and eventually the Lord delivering us out of that place. So going back here to the book of Psalms, and shalom to you, Aki and Wak tuning in this morning. Hey, Yahweh Shema Shabbarakatham, Wa Barakar Tawab. Hey, shalom, my brother Benaiah, man, shalom. Hey, if you got any scriptures out, feel free to post them, Baba Kashah. I'd be appreciated. So this is Psalm chapter 105 and verse 23 again. It says, "Israel also came into Egypt." Yeah, we just got that. It says, "And Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham." And the land of Ham is speaking about Egypt. All right, as those Egyptians, they're Hamites. Okay, particularly, from their progenitor, Mizraim. When you read Genesis, the 11th chapter, concerning the table of nations. Okay, verse 24 says, "And he increased his people greatly," talking about the Most High. He increased us. Okay, we became numerous. It says, "and made them stronger than their enemies." Now, were we stronger in the sense of military might? No. You see, just like we're not stronger when it comes to Esau's military now. Okay, how are we stronger? Okay, let's get this real quick. All right. Now, biologically, yeah, we're stronger. Physically, Jake, is just naturally, stronger than, than Esau. Okay, just like we're naturally stronger than any of these nations. Genesis 25th chapter says, "One people shall be stronger than the other," concerning Jacob. All right, we're going to be stronger than Esau, Edom. But when you get this word "strong" here in Psalms 105, because clearly we didn't have any might, okay, in our hands, because we were slaves underneath them. Yet, we were multiplied. So let's get this word "strong" real quick. Let's see, what verse was that? That was 23 and 24. All right, this is Strong's H, 6105. For that word "stronger" is Asham. All right, Asham. It says to be vast, to be numerous, to be mighty. You see? So that stronger is going into our numbers, okay? Going into the Lord multiplying us. All right, because Jake, just as we do now, even though we in captivity, we in hell, hey, Jake be popping them cheering out, man. All right? That's one thing we're going to do. We're going to be fruitful and multiply, whether we catching hell or not. You see? So how much more in the kingdom when we're at our rest? We're going to be multiplying, all right? That's what the Lord created us to do. And that's one of the promises that he promised Abraham, that he's going to, our numbers are going to be as the sand of the seashore. You can't even count that, man. You just pick up, if you just, just pinch, just pinch the beach, just pinch the sand. You can't even count, how many granules, is in between your thumb and index. So how much more, you got, you get the point, man. All right. So there's going to be a lot of baby making in the kingdom of heaven. All right. Psalms 105 and verse 24 again, it says, "And he increased his people greatly and made them stronger or numerous than their enemies. He turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants." Now let's get that here in Exodus 1 and 7. Exodus chapter 1 and verse 7, it says, and the children of Israel were fruitful, see, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Yeah, that's right, man. The land is filled with us, just as it was back then. It is right now. You see, we outnumber, okay, Esau, Edom, here in Babylon the Great, and all throughout the world. We outnumber Esau. So what does he do? He deals subtly with us, man. All right, he deals craftily. This is why he sets up these particular snares and pitfalls and nets, because he knows when it comes to numbers, we got them, you know. But the Lord has, as we're going to continue to read in Psalms 105, just as the Lord turned Pharaoh's heart to hate his people, okay, that's what the Lord has done to Esau, Edom, the spiritual, okay, Egyptian. He's turned Esau's heart to hate us and to deal subtly with us, man. All right, so let's continue to read Exodus 1 and 8. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Yeah, because that king that was over Egypt during the time of Joseph, you know, they had an alliance. You know, he had great respect unto our forefather Joseph because of his integrity, you know, and because he was very industrious, you know, he was wise, and he knew that the Lord was with him. Okay, but after, you know, Joseph passed away, and after, you know, that Pharaoh passed away, well, you know, it was a change, you know, in how, you know, Egypt started to deal with us after that. Verse 9, Exodus 1 and 9. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. And you best believe that Esau, Edom, okay, they know and understand that. And this bothers them, man. And this is why they set up. Let me read the next verse, then I'm going to say what I was about to say. Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them. You see? Let us pollute their foods. Let us put vaccines inside of them to sterilize their seeds. Okay, let's put I almost said it, but, you know, plan peathood, you know, buildings in every corner, okay, of their communities. You see? Just as, you know, Pharaoh and the Egyptians dealt wisely with us back then, okay, to try to cut us off. Well, Esau's doing the same thing now. And all these nations, they're in the cahoots with him, man, to try to cut us off. Cut out the seed of Israel, man, to cut the remembrance of us out of the earth. So it says, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. Oh, when you go into that word wisely, it means to deceive. You see? And this is why scripture says, for we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. At least you shouldn't be. All right? The majority of our people are. All right? But the Lord has given us, you know, the eye salve to see, okay, how this devil has always dealt wisely and is still dealing wisely or deceiving us. You see? It says, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. You see? So this is, and the main way how Esau has dealt wisely with us is keeping us in a state of degradation and sin, man. You see, like when you read the book of Judith, the 5th chapter, these nations have always known, as long as, you know, we are separated from our power, okay, by iniquity, well, then the Lord ain't gonna fight for us. But he wasn't counting on the elect to rise up, man. See? But got all that to go back here to Psalms 105. See? And this is why plagues are going to come up on, okay, Egypt as it was before. You see? 2nd Esdras, let's get that real quick. 2nd Esdras 15. And like I said, I really want to get into this article briefly. I'm not going to read the whole article because it's kind of lengthy, but I remember Elder Yashawamba had, you know, made mention, you know, of it a while ago. And so I just found an article to go into it. So this is 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 9. It says, and therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Now, what Egypt is this talking about? This is speaking about America. All right, because 2nd Esdras 15 and 16 is speaking about the things that's going to be happening in the end of Esau's world, man. Pursuant to 2nd Esdras 6 and 9, Esau's the end of the world, linking once again Esau unto Egypt, which proves or sheds more light upon Revelation 11 and 8 Okay, Isaiah the 19th chapter, as we stated earlier. Joel the 3rd chapter speaks about that as well. How the Lord's going to raise up Judah, okay, out of Egypt, roughly paraphrasing. Let's continue to read 2 Ezra 15 and 11. And I will bring them with a mighty hand. And who's that mighty hand? Yahweh Shah, by his judgments, and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. You see? And America, Babylon the Great, okay, was foresaid and prophesied to be completely destroyed. Okay, because ancient Egypt, that whole land wasn't destroyed. You still have trade and commerce. You still have people living there. You see? So we know that that wasn't talking about, okay, in the ancient world. This is speaking about in these times that we're living in now, in this spiritual Egypt. So as we read Psalms 105, okay, and it's going into, you know, a historical account, you know, once again, this is a Psalm of David. And as David is going into, you know, this historical account, where scripture says, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. The thing that have been is that which shall be done. So we can link, you know, all these things into what's coming down the pipe very soon. So going back to Psalms chapter 105 and verse 25, he turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants, you see? And this is a cut for any of you Israelites, you know, whether you know you're Israelites or don't. Okay, this is a cut for, you know, if you think that Esau's going to have a change of heart, man. You see? He hated you back then, you know, but now he loves you now. No, the Lord himself turned his heart to hate his people, man. As it says in Proverbs the 21st chapter, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and he turns it as the waters, man. Let's get that. I don't want to butcher it. Proverbs 21 and 1. All right. And just as the Lord turned ancient Pharaoh's heart, okay, to hate his people, to hate the Israelites, that's what he's done it to Esau, man. The Lord created Esau to be an antagonist, to be in opposition against Jacob. Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh by Shema Shai. And if something is in your hand, you have complete control over it. It says, as the rivers of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will. And the Lord has bent and turned Esau Edom's mind, the spiritual, okay, Pharaoh's mind, to hate us, man. All right. So let's read this again. Psalms 105 and verse 25. He turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants. You see? And the only way for us to win this war, okay, is to deal wisely, man. Just as Esau's dealing subtly with us, well, we have to deal even more subtly with him. Like Yahweh says, I send you forth as sheep. Be ye wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. Verse 26, it says, he sent Moses, his servant, and Aaron, whom he has chosen. They shewed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham. Let's grab this in Exodus, the 7th chapter real quick. Exodus chapter 7 and verse 1. And it reads, and the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shai said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. And, you know, one can just read that at face value, you know, and be like, wow, you know, he made him a god unto Pharaoh. But why was that so big? Because Pharaoh himself was worshipped as one of the supreme deities. He was worshipped as, you know, Ra incarnate, you know, Ra in the flesh, you know, which Ra was one of the chief sun gods, was the sun god, you know, one of the chief deities. But they believe, you know, Pharaoh to be Ra in the flesh. So for the fact that Yahweh by Shema Shai, okay, made Moses a god unto Pharaoh, that speaks volumes, man. You see, that goes to show you the power, okay, that Yahweh by Shema Shai has endowed his men with. You see, and it's only going to be turned up, man. As these plagues increase upon Babylon the Great, the world's going to see, okay, who the Most High is dealing with, who the Most High's men are, man. He's going to make his men look like gods, man. All right, that's just a side note, but he did that with Moses back then, man. You see, so let's continue to read. Verse 1, and the Lord Yahweh made, so like you said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a god unto Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. It says, you know, and if you remember, what was that? That's a Revelation 11th chapter. Speaks about the Lord is going to send his two witnesses, which is northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Okay, Judah and Ephraim. Okay, and here we are in the spiritual Egypt prophesying. All right, but in the actual Egypt, you know, as we're reading, the Lord had, you know, his two witnesses, Moses and Aaron, to call down those plagues. You see? So once again, we can equate, you know, what's going on back, what happened back then, unto what's happening right now. So Exodus 7:3, it says, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. You see? So if the Lord loves everybody, why would he harden, okay, you know, Pharaoh's heart just to destroy him, man? You see, it doesn't make any sense. And, you know, everything that Esau is doing right now is not Esau. It's Yahweh Bashim Shah. It's the Lord that's making Esau, you know, come up with these crafty devices, man. AI, you know, Neuro to the link, you know, these RFID, you know, C to the hips, man. All right, it's the Lord making him do all that. Esau's not doing anything in and of himself, you know. As powerful as he is, Yahweh Bashim Shah, okay, you know, bent his mind to do these things, you know. It's the same thing playing out all over again. All right, Exodus 7:3, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. And why did the Lord do that? Just to get glory, you know. Just to get his glory, man. I'm gonna get this real quick. I believe it's Psalm 79. Is it Psalm 79? It may be Psalms. Bear with me. Let me try to find this. Dang. Yeah, I believe it's 79. Let me see. Here we go, Psalm 76. Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 76 and verse 16 in the NLT. All right, this is why the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and this is why he's hardening Esau's heart right now. Psalm 76 and 10 NLT. It says, human defiance only enhances your glory, for you use it as a weapon. And let's read that again. It says human defiance. Because that's all Esau is. He's just a human. He's not a god. You see, as much as he's trying to pose himself to be a god and sit in the seat and sit in the temple of the Most High to show himself that he is the Most High, he's just a human at the end of the day. All right? So human defiance only enhances your glory, for you use it as a weapon. So the Lord wants to smoke. You see? He wants all the smoke with Esau Edom, man. All right? And just like he built up Pharaoh, okay? He built, you know, Pharaoh's heart, was, became prideful, thinking that, you know, he had complete control over the Lord's people, over the Israelites. Well, it's the same thing he's doing to Esau, man, just so the Lord can get his glory. That's what it's all about. And he's going to make, and in the process of it, he's going to make himself a name. All right, the whole world is going to understand and know the name of Yahweh. Okay, why Yahweh Shah? All right, when he comes, okay, he sends his son Yahweh Shah in that angelic force, man, and that angelic power, that Alashadja power, man. He's not going to meet this place as a man, you see. And then once again, and once and for all, okay, the names of Yahweh Bashim Shah will be glorified upon the earth, just as, you know, his name, you know, was known after, you know, he destroyed Egypt, which Egypt was a superpower at that time, man. You see. So Exodus 7 and verse 4, it says, but Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt. So the Lord's like, they're not gonna listen to you. Why? Because I want to judge it, man. That's the same thing for America, man. As much as we, you know, speak about, you know, the horrific things that's going to come upon this place, and it's already coming upon this place, because the Lord is judging this place already, man. You know, it's not Esau that's doing all these things, all these particular, you know, this to the eases and, just strange, weather patterns. No, a lot of that is the Lord, man. You see? Even if it does come from Esau, still Yahweh Bashim Shah. But there's things that Esau is surprised that's happening right now. And he knows that. This is why, they're seeking to their enchanters and to their stargazers, to their prognosticators, man. You can see? So he knows that he's at an end. His time is short. Revelation, so like in Exodus 7 and verse 4. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth my armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. You see? That's how we're going to be brought out of this place, out of this spiritual Egypt, by great judgments, man. All right? What does it say in Isaiah, the 1st chapter? For Zion shall be redeemed, okay, with judgments. It says, verse 5, and the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh by Shema Shah. That's right, because Pharaoh, at first, Pharaoh was like, who is the Lord? Who is Yahweh? I don't know him. You see, when Moses came into Pharaoh, he's like, I don't know Yahweh. You see? But he got to know him up close and personal, okay, through his judgments. Like it says in Psalms 9 and 16, the Lord is known by his judgments, and the wicked is stared in the works of his hands, Higayon Selah. So it says, verse 5, and the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh by Shema Shah when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them. So let's go back here to Psalms 105. Psalms 105 and verse 26. He sent Moses his servant and Aaron whom he have chosen. They showed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham. He sent darkness and made it dark, and they rebelled not against his word. And that darkness, Exodus 10th chapter, you could read about it. It was so dark that you could feel it, And as we read earlier in 2nd Exodus 15, the Lord's going to send plagues upon Egypt as it was before. You see? So the Lord's going to have these EMP attacks, to occur. It's going to be dark as hell out here, man. But it's going to be not just dark because, EMP attacks and because the power grid went out, but also because the darkness is just being sent from the Lord, man. So it's going to be, once again, darkness you can feel, But see, the children of Israel had light in the land of Goshen, which when you go to that name Goshen, it means a drawing near, drawing nigh. So those that's drawing nigh unto Yahweh Bashim Shah right now, hey, the Lord's he's gonna have provision prepared, man. You see? We're gonna have light, The Lord's gonna be working amongst us, man. So it's good to, that's why David, often, and David, not just him, but, a lot of these psalmists, they went into the particular, points in history, like Psalm 78, Psalms 106, Psalms 107, Psalms 105, as we're reading right now. They went in particular points in history, man. How the Lord, delivered his people, okay, his particular acts and judgments, because what does that do? It's supposed to build up your faith, As we hear the word and read the word, it's supposed to be mixed and mingled with faith. So when we get put in similar situations, well, we believe that Yahweh Bashim Shah is going to come through for us, just as he always did. All right. Verse 28, he sent darkness and made it dark, and they rebelled not against his word. And I'm going to read these plagues, and then I'm going to get that article. But after I read these particular plagues, because each plague that the Lord was hitting Egypt with, it was really a mock, okay, at their gods. It says, verse 29, he turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance with chambers of their kings. And all this is economic hits too. As Egypt, was the world superpower at the time, militarily, financially, agriculturally, the way the place it was situated right next to the Nile River, it was super abundant and fruitful. It doesn't look like what it looks like today, to where it's just fucking sand everywhere. No, Egypt used to be, very green, very lush, palm trees, all different types of shrubbery, vegetation, you see. So as the Lord was, smiting, the rivers and, the crops and the cattle, that fucked up, Egypt's economy, man. See, just like, the spiritual Egypt's economy is getting fucked up because these plagues, man. You just had a few weeks ago, the Dow dropped, 1,300 points. You see? And that's nothing. That's nothing, man. The Lord's just getting warmed up, man. Party's just starting. All right, verse 29. He turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance in chambers of their kings. Oh, and also when the Lord was bringing these plagues, he didn't just hit them all at once. You know, when you read Exodus, I believe, like the 8th chapter, it speaks about how there was a time of respite. Let's get there real quick. Let me see if I can find that. Give me 1 second. Yep, Exodus 8 and 15. Let's see. All right, this is Exodus chapter 8 and verse 15. And this is speaking about the plagues of the frogs. It says, let's start at verse 12. It says, and Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto Yahweh by Shem Yahushua because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. Now check this out. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart, and hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said. Let's get that word respite real quick, because that's how the Lord is hitting, okay, this place, the spiritual Egypt. He hits it, you know, and then he kind of lets off of it for a little bit. Okay, this word respite in the Hebrew, let's see, bear with me. Strong's H7309, Ra'acha, says respite, relief. You see? So basically birth pains, just like today. All right, the Lord was hitting ancient Egypt with strategical blows, if you will. He wasn't just hitting them all at once, you know, back to back to back to back. No, it wasn't like that. It was with respite. It was with, little pockets of relief. So, relief, it says a feeling of reassurance. See? So basically, in today's terms, what have people termed it? Okay, a new normal. You see? It ain't gonna be no fucking new normal, man. How many new normals we gonna have? You see? It's gonna get to a point to where the Lord is going to hit this place where it hurts. Okay, and it's gonna be that crippling blow. Okay, where it just makes this place buckle down to his knees. You see? Verse 15. Let's get in the NLT. But when Pharaoh saw that relief had come, so just prior he was just, asking Moses to, take the frogs away, crying out to Yahweh, please take the frogs away. All right. But now he's saying, but when Pharaoh saw that relief had come, he became stubborn, just like these people now. Scourges are sent for amendments, but they're not going to repent. All right. Oh, hey, that's the spirit. The brother just put it up. Hey, the water, GMS standing firm too. And the water for all these precepts, we're gonna try to grab something before we end it off. But brother Benaiah put up 2 Ezra 16 and 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And what does amendment mean? To basically, reconcile, get yourself together. All right. But what does it say? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges, man. Yeah, just like these people today, man. All right. They absolutely forgot, okay, about all these particular, just recent judgments, man. A lot of, we just had a hurricane, okay, earthquakes, volcanoes, mpox, you see. Everybody's social security has been breached, but people forgot. People don't care, man. That goes to show you that the Lord has put, okay, a spirit of sleep upon this place, man, upon these people. You see? Just 2 years, I'm going to keep speaking about it. 2 years ago, okay, out there in Turkey, the Lord killed 54,000 people. That's a number of biblical proportions, man. You see? 54,000 people, and one earthquake was deleted. But ain't nobody even, people forgot about that. Things that's happening over there in Israel. Okay, you got little babies just getting, bombed to smithereens. You see, in that Gaza Strip. You see buildings falling down upon them, mothers and fathers, just getting, arms and feet and put them in plastic bags, You see, like, yo. So the Lord is already judging and touching this place. But as we just read, they're not going to be always mindful of these scourges, man. You see? Why? Because the Lord, he sends little pockets of relief, times of respite. You see? And that makes people's hearts get prideful. And they say, okay, well, it's just a new normal. We can still live with this, long as I got Popeyes and Wingstop and my job is still, hitting me up. I can still, people don't give a fuck, man. All right, but it's going to get to a point to where the Lord is going to get everybody's attention. Lights out. Hey, just that event right there is going to get everybody's attention. Lights out, man. And you already hear talks from, Cotton Swab, in particular other of, these puppet elites, talking about these lights about to go out, man. And that right there, man, that's going to be, boy, that's going to get everybody's attention. All right. Exodus 8 and 15 in the NLT. But when Pharaoh saw that relief had come, he became stubborn. He refused to listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord said. You see? So let's go back here to Psalms 105 and verse 30. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance in chambers of their kings. He spake, and there came diverse sort of flies and lice in all their coasts. He gave them hail for rain and flaming fire in their land. He smote their vines also and their fig trees and break the trees of the coast. So just absolutely destroying the economy, man. All right. It says, and he spake, and the locusts came in caterpillars, and that without number. Now, let me read a little bit on this article here. And I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me see. I'm going to put it in the chat real quick. Let me find it. So you Akim, y'all feel free, hey, read through it. It's a good read. Okay, I just put the link in there. Let's see if it popped up. There we go. So you should just be able to click that and you can follow along or just read it on your spare time. But let's go into it real quick. It says this is statrice.edu. Says 10 Egyptian plagues for 10 Egyptian gods and goddesses. I'll just read a little bit. It says, the God of Israel is greater than all other Egyptian gods and goddesses. Moses was a great prophet called by the Most High with a very important job to do. Yeah, just like the prophets in these times, man. We have the highest office, conceivable. Our vocation. Was that Ephesians the 4th chapter speaks about how we've been called, to a vocation, meaning that a high calling. And literally what, starting with our apostles, our bishops, our elders, and us brothers that enter into their labors, man, we're actually, the ones, chanting in all these plagues to come upon this earth, just like Moses and Aaron did, man. You see? Jeremiah the 28th chapter, in the 8th verse, all the prophets before me and before thee of old has prophesied against both many great kingdoms and nations of what? War, pestilence, and evil, and famine. You see? So it says Moses was a great prophet called by the Most High with a very important job to do. As an instrument in the Lord's hand, he performed many signs and wonders, attempting to convince Pharaoh to allow the Israelites freedom from their bondage and slavery to the Egyptians. These wonders are more commonly referred to as plagues, sent from the power of Israel as a proof that the one true God was far greater than all the multiple gods of the Egyptians. That's right. As it says, that Psalms the 97th chapter. For our God, he's a God above all gods, roughly paraphrasing. Because really, in reality, there are no other gods. They're just all figments of man's imagination, inventions of men. Psalms 96 and verse 4. For the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the nations are idols. But the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua made the heavens. That's right. So these plagues was a complete, destruction of Egypt's gods. Which that's where their support. You see, and trust and faith came through were their God. So as the Lord Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, sending these plagues, they saw, that what they believed in was all a lie. And that's what these people about to realize. They're about to realize that Jesus was just a big fucking lie. Muhammad, these niggas in chematology, man. You see? So yeah, I'll read this. So it has down here corresponding Egyptian god and goddesses to the type of plague. Hapi, Egyptian god of the Nile. This Egyptian god was a water bearer, and what the Lord do? He turned the water into blood. And I'm not going to read those paragraphs that's underneath. That's why I put the link in the chat. So you all can look at it yourselves. I'm just going to read these gods and what they were gods over, so-called. The next one is Hekit, Egyptian goddess of fertility, water, and renewal. Hekit, the Egyptian goddess, had the head of a frog. So the Lord was mocking, when he sent all those frogs into the courts of Egypt. Well, he was pretty much mocking this god, Hekit, as she had the head of a frog. It's some silly ass shit, man. All right. It says the next one, Geb, Egyptian god of the earth. The Egyptian god Geb was over the dust of the earth, and what the Lord do? He sent lice from the dust of the earth. You see, so it should have basically had running in the Egyptians' minds like, damn, if our God, loves us, why would he, if he's over the dust of the earth, why would he allow, lice to come up, you see, and affect our cattle and affect us, you see? It says the next one, Khepri, Egyptian god of creation, movement of the sun, and rebirth. And once again, all these gods are back in America too. See, this is why, once again, Revelation 11:8, this is spiritual Egypt and spiritual Sodom. You see? And these gods are back, in the forms of entertainment, in all these different industries. It says the Egyptian god Geb. Oh yeah, we already read that one. Khepri, the god, this Egyptian god had the head of a fly. And what the Lord do? He sent swarms of flies. The next one, Hathor, Egyptian goddess of love and protection. Usually this Egyptian goddess was depicted with the head of a cow. And what the Lord do? He killed, he had the death of the cattle and livestock and that grievous murrain, that cattle disease, man. The next one, we've heard of this next one often. Isis, Egyptian goddess of medicine and peace. See? And that's what Esau's been pushing lately. His pseudo medicine. Which this goes back into Isis. As we're reading, she's the Egyptian goddess, so-called, of medicine and peace. But what did the Lord do? He sent those boils and sores. Ashes turned to boils and sores, which was the 6th plague. Let's see here. The next one is the god Nut, Egyptian goddess of the sky. And the Lord, he sent down hail. In the form of, it says, hail rained down in the form of fire. It says, the next one is Seth, Egyptian god of storms and disorder. And what the Lord do? He sent down locusts sent from the sky. It says, the next one, Ra, the sun god. Yes, Salaki, I had, because earlier I had said that they believe Pharaoh to be Ra incarnate, which that was actually another god, which we were about to get into. But Ra, with him being the so-called sun god, what the Lord do? He sent 3 days of complete darkness. You see? So all these plagues that the Lord was doing, they weren't just random plagues, just willy-nilly, just free balling the plague. No, the Lord, right? He knows what he's doing. You see? Once again, he hit this place with strategical blows, just like he's hitting America with strategical blows, man, to break up, the faith and the folly of all these damn idols, man. You see, that people trust in. Like it says here in Isaiah 19. Let's get that real quick. Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt. Now this Egypt right here, and this whole chapter is speaking about America. Spiritual Egypt. The burden of Egypt. And what's that burden? The word of the Lord. These prophecies, man. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shah rideth upon a swift cloud. What's that? The chariot, man. It says, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst thereof. That's right, man. That's right. I was about to continue to read. Let me finish. It says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. See? So, just as the Lord, confounded the gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt, when he comes back in that swift cloud here, he's going to do the same thing. These idols are going to have to move out the way. You see? And people's going to be trying to call upon Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah. Okay? But he's not going to answer them. You see? So, Ra, the sun god, the Lord put 3 days of complete darkness there. It says, okay, the next one, Pharaoh, which he was the ultimate power of Egypt. Okay? And what the Lord do? He sent the death angel to kill all the firstborn of cattle, beast and human. Let's read a little bit on this. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, was worshipped by the Egyptians because he was considered to be the greatest Egyptian god of all. Out of all, they estimated to be over 2,000 gods that the Egyptians, worship. So out of all those 2,000 gods, Pharaoh was considered to be the greatest Egyptian god of all. It says it was believed that he was actually the son of Ra. Yeah, he was a son of Ra himself, manifest in the flesh. After the plagues of darkness fell throughout the land was lifted, Pharaoh resumed his position of bargaining with the Lord and offered Moses another deal. Since virtually all of the Egyptian animals had been consumed by the judgments of the Lord, Pharaoh now consented to the request made to let the people go, but they must leave their animals behind. This was a totally unacceptable offer, as the animals were to be used as the actual sacrifice to the Lord. The Lord is uncompromising when he has set the terms. That's right. So yep. So yeah, like I said, I put the link in the chat, just in case y'all want to just read through it, read through all of it. But I just wanted to get that to show how all these 10 plagues was a direct hit against not just the land of Egypt and its economy, but also against their gods. So going back to Psalms, let's finish it out. Psalms 105 and verse 34. He spake, and the locusts came, and caterpillars, and that without number. And he did, and did eat up all the herbs in their land, and devoured the fruit of their ground. He smote also all the firstborn, it says, in their land, the chief of all their strength. He brought them forth also with silver and gold, and there was not one feeble person among their tribes. See? And what scripture say about the feeble of us in these times? We're going to be like David, man. You see, what's that? Zechariah, the 12th chapter. Let's get there real quick. Zechariah 12 and 8. Let's start at verse 7. It said, verse 8. In that day shall the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shah defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, and the angel of the Lord before them. You see? So just as it was back then, okay, as we just read, there wasn't one feeble person amongst us. You see, when the Lord was delivering us from the ancient from ancient Egypt, man. You consider our little ones. We had wives, we had elderly, elderly men and women. Okay, well, the Lord girded them with strength, enough strength, okay, to to endure all those judgments, and to go through the Red Sea. You see, beautiful. The brother put Isaiah 40 and 31 up. Hey, Shalom, brother Kazak Ban Yahweh put up Isaiah 40 and 31. But they that wait, see, let me pull it up here. It says, but they that wait upon the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shah shall renew their strength. That's right. And what did Moses tell the children of Israel? He says, stand still. See, stand still and see the salvation of our power, man. See, so we were just waiting. All right, and the Lord girded us with strength. The most feeble of us, it says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Beautiful, man. See? And, the Lord's going to make a way for us, So, for you Akim and Akwaf, like all of us are through, but particularly like, for the older, Akim, you may wonder sometimes, like, it's in the flesh. We know the Lord going to take care of it. Sometimes the flesh be like, damn, man, I'm up in age, or, you got some type of, even if you're a younger brother, you may have some type of, infirmity. You may have a broken knee or whatever. Well, the Lord's going to make sure, man, we're going to be girded with strength. You see? He ain't gonna leave us, if we're part of the elect, that is, he ain't gonna leave us out here high and dry. He's gonna gird us with strength, man. And the most feeble of us is gonna be, like David. And you can read about, those mighty acts that David was doing, So let's get a few off the comment board, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. Yeah, brothers lit it up, ate the water, Akim. Y'all just get a few. I gotta wrap it up here soon. Kazak Ban Yahweh to put up Proverbs 27:12. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. That's right, man. All right, Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise and storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And we've been seeing all these. See, the Lord's already been smiting this place, judging this place. You see, so clearly the Lord is visiting this place. But once again, he sends, times of respite. He sends times of relief. So, these people, they're not going to be, always mindful of the scourges. You see, because really these times of relief, is set up to be a snare for these people. It's killing two birds with one stone. It's giving us more of a grace period, to get our house in order. But it's also making their hearts even harder. You see, once again, as we read in Psalms 79 or Psalm 76, it says that the Lord, he uses human defiance, as a weapon, man. You see? So yeah, man, hey, that's the point. At the water for these beautiful precepts, Akim. Make sure, y'all feel free to, read through them. Great scriptures, man. So yeah, that's the point. Lord willing, this was edifying and comforting to the Lord's elect. All right, until next time, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Hakodash. I want to give double honors to our beloved apostle and elders of Great Millstone, Muwaf Lababal, Shalom. Oh, and Salakia, I remember I had stated about 2 days ago that the Day of Atonement is going to be this weekend. It's not. I was reading the wrong calendar, so Salakia about that. Salakia for the confusion. The Day of Atonement is actually going to be next month, September. I believe it's the 11th, but, we'll post it, but once again, just correcting that. Shalom.